Just how the Dons come out in this one.
Yeah, they need to come out strong. You mentioned, you look through their schedule, IPFW is the biggest team they play, and I know Dane Fife will tell them, make it from the get-go, play our kind of style, and get after them defensively from one end to the other. That's what he'll stress.
It's coming up, IPFW and Rochester College, the Warriors, here at the Memorial Coliseum. We'll be right back.
You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales, you're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
It's IPFW Mastodon Basketball, live from the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Brought to you by College 5 Sports on My Network. Digital broadcast 33.2, Comcast 252.
Introducing the starting lineup for your IPFW Mastodons. Starting guard, 6'4", a senior from Flint, Michigan, number 5,
We welcome you back to the Memorial Coliseum. Dean Fantasy along with Ryan Elijah. We are about ready to go. Definite size advantage out there for the boys in blue, but you got to play the game in the 94 by 50.
Well, they clearly do. This is so different than 2 games ago against Notre Dame. This, in almost every roster spot, IPFW's got the advantage. And Dane Fife talks about defense. Dean, we've seen this team shoot 27% and 37%. This is a game he wants to come out, see him shoot well into the 40s, and put this team away early.
The key element in this thing was IPFW needs to use its athleticism. They should be advantaged Dons at every position in quickness, in execution, in every other way possible. So we've got to think that if the Dons can put this one away early, it's a great confidence booster heading into a very tough Indiana State game on Sunday. Indiana State playing Friday night at Indiana and coming off a very nice win at Western Michigan.
I tell you, Dean, look for their seniors between Hawkins to come out big. I think you're going to see a big game out of Tyler Best as well. And certainly look Zelko to see if he'll have that hot hand from outside.
What you've seen with Tyler Best in the past, Brian, is if they can get him early and he gets the feeling, he is unstoppable. It's that old confidence breeds confidence breeds confidence. If they can see that it's working going into him inside, they'll go to that all night. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah, IPFW shot 33 threes on Monday night. And Dane Fife knows as a player, you're going to live by the 3 and die by the 3. I'd be very surprised if they come out tonight and don't try and bang the ball inside time in and time out.
Rochester starting lineup, Rob Fragoso and Brett Whitner the guards, Tyler Lightprint and William Gorey the forwards, and Andrew Clark in the middle. And we're ready to go. As the Dons will send out their DeWitt Scott, Justin Hawkins, Quentin Carruthers, Chris Perkins, and Tyler Best in the third forward spot. Actually, he'll be playing the pivot, but they list him as the third forward.
Yeah, Whitner's the guy to watch. He's the guy to come out shooting for Rochester.
And the tip is controlled by Rochester. And that'll be Fragoso. Top of the key. Goes to the left side. Whitner gets a screen. Gets to the hole, knocks a man down, and is called for the offensive foul.
Dane Fife couldn't have drawn it up any better. He wants his guys to play aggressive and taking a charge right off the bat. It's a great way to start for DeWitt Scott.
Well, you also had an issue there, and you know basketball as well as I do. You got to talk, and you got to talk from minute 1, and there was no talking done out there.
Now, this is interesting. Valpo played nothing but a man-to-man, and Dane Fife talked about different defenses. They're coming out in a 1-3-1, three-quarter court zone against him.
And they're going to best it pretty good as Perkins will get it. Oh, if they look for Perkins, they had him open and said it comes into the forecourt, and now Perkins has it near the circle.
Now they'll drop back into a zone. Pretty aggressive right off the bat for Rochester. We talked about this, the only Division I team they'll see all year.
High post to Best. He's double teamed, triple teamed, and tied up. And he got no help.
No help.
So we have 2 possessions and 2 lacks of communication. So that's not good as far as the Dons are concerned, because you got to figure this is the team that should not have that kind of problem.
Yeah, the Dons will clearly, the one thing you don't want to do in an offense like that is get your big men out there hung out to dry, and that's kind of what happened.
Fortunately, the possession arrow goes to the Dons, and they continue to control the basketball. Best will inbound. Still no score, 31 seconds in. Now we have an explanation for somebody. Something is not quite right. And we're getting an explanation here off to the side as somebody not being there. Now they're okay. And here's the inbound. He comes to Hawkins. Top to Perkins in the lane. That's Best. Puts it in, dips down, puts it up, partially blocked. And are we going to get a foul call?
Good,
Looks like
strong
we are.
move. Best will shoot 2.
Whitner draws the foul. Oh, they're going to give that one to Clark.
And that's one thing Dane 5 talked about. When you let your opponent shoot 41 free throws, you only shoot 12. That's not a referee issue. That's an issue of being aggressive, and we saw it right off the bat right there from Best.
Who delivers number 1 and scores the first point of the game. Just 38 seconds, we should say, into the game as the Dons have hit the board, and Tyler Best will try and double the lead, which he does. 2-zip. Fragoso quickly into the forecourt, guarded by Perkins. He really ran that in. Gets a screen, doesn't use it. Top of the key. Now into Clark, spins, has nobody cutting. Now he's still going to, almost got a 5-second call. Finally found it over to Leiprand. Fragoso.
Rochester will try and work the ball inside, and that's the second turnover quickly already as the Dons force him into a traveling violation.
Well, that's a good tight man-to-man defense that gave him nowhere to go. So the Dons will control it.
Warriors going to stay in that 1-3-1 trapping zone. Key here is to move the ball.
And Perkins is doing that up the side nearest to us. Loops it ahead to Scott. Back outside Perkins. Chris
Hawkins
crosses.
waiting for the reversal.
He has it. Carruthers. Perkins is going to launch the triple. Back of the rim, no good. Tip up, no good. Tip up again, no good. And ball tracked down on the floor by Gorey. Fragoso putting it up ahead into the lane. Shot is up. No, now we have a drive in by Leiprand. He'll go off the glass and no good, but now we have a whistle and a foul call on the Dons.
I think they're going to get DeWitt Scott on that one. Try to get his second charge of the game.
Actually, it looks like they, yeah, I thought he had 4 or 5 fingers up there. I was
That's
looking at that and said, no, he wasn't anywhere near the play. Here's Leiprand. He will deliver number 1, and he scores it.
This is a team deemed coming off a 59-point win against Ohio State of Marion.
At their level, they are very, very good. Second one is also good, and Leiprand has tied the game at 2. Press continues. Best in the backcourt.
That's a good thing for IPFW to see a press early on.
Well, and Best knows how to handle the ball, so he's a good way to press it up. Scott, it's now Perkins at the top of the key getting a screen from Best. Into the corner. That's
he can
Scott
stroke
for
it.
triple, but it's off the back of the rim, no good. He has been having some problems shooting the basketball
Yeah, didn't shoot it well Monday night. Clearly, it's a guy they want to get on track.
because he does know how. Fragoso out near between the rings to Goree. Clark. And what do we have? It's going to be going toward the Dons, and I believe we have an offensive foul. And that'll go against Whitner.
That's the second one they've drawn already. 2 minutes in, we've yet to see a field goal from either team.
And we've yet to see a really good offensive set from
we
either
haven't.
team. So Adam Hacius will now check in for Rochester, the first substitution of the game. And they're still in that press. It's not a real choking press, but it's a press. And Perkins comes over the line and beats it, loops it ahead to Scott. Back outside Perkins. He'll cross and find Carruthers. Back to Scott. Open is Justin Hawkins from the corner. In front of the rim, no good. Buck like Best had the rebound, but he got jostled away from it, and Clark
Yeah, the
grabbed it
best
out.
way to attack that zone is in the corner, and if IPW can knock those down, it's going to be a long night for Rochester.
Fragoso finds Goree, sets a screen. This is Leiprand putting it up, scooping it in. Leiprand makes it a 4-2 game for the Warriors as they have their first lead of the game.
I tell you, Dean, it's early, but Dane 5 cannot be happy with the start. This is not what he wanted to see coming out of the gates.
They look very lackluster and not a lot of spirit out there right now. Perkins goes into the lane, steps through, puts it off glass, got it in. Nice move, but again, isolation, and everybody else still standing around. They got to get some more guys involved.
Yeah, and he brings you a lot on the defensive end, and if you can get that offensively, it can really give you a spark.
Fragoso uses a screen, comes to the right side, finds Leiprand. Jumper on the way. Got it. Life ran up from the left wing.
Good ball movement. They've got some shooters.
Officials tonight, Brian Anslinger, Jake Gentili, and Merlin Nice. They will be the guys making the calls, and so far they've had to make a few. Rochester with the lead. Dons with the ball. Perkins crosses. Scott has it, tries to feed inside. Best was not open, and unfortunately held onto the ball. Skipped outside. Here is another bomb away from Scott. That one is good, and that's a triple.
Yeah, when DeWitt Scott gets on, he can struggle with the best of them.
His first 3 of the night and first 3 points of the night. The Dons have tied the game at 7. Fregoso crossing now into the corner. 3. Ball gets loose, and here comes Hawkins. Pulls it up, had 2 on 3, didn't have the numbers. Perkins steps into the lane, scoops it up, it's going to be short. Gets his own rebound and puts, oh no! It's his in, and it didn't go.
Great follow, just didn't go down.
It rang the rim, and Clark grabbed the rebound, and Fregoso has it in the forecourt now for Rochester. Hacius. This is Goree up top. Lee Pratt. Fregoso about 25 feet away and does not have a shot. On the drive, Goree pulls up from 15 on the baseline, no good. Rebound up and no good by Clark, but he draws a foul.
That's the first time I've seen Dane frustrated tonight, giving up that easy offensive rebound.
Well, he's going to be frustrated enough that he's going to use this first media timeout to really step in and have a little conversation, because right now things are not going the way he would like. It is 7-7. We'll be right back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Joined head coach Dane Fife on College 5 basketball beginning November 22nd for the Dane Fife Show, featuring highlights and insights on the Mastodons from the coach and his guests. Mike Maas hosting the show on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, Fridays at 7 o'clock, and Saturdays at noon on College Access Channel 5.
Indeed, listening to the timeout over there for Rochester College, which is a fun thing to do, of course. And he's talking about continue to keep the ball out of the paint for IPFW, so he loves what he's seeing. IPFW's 2 of 8 so far. That's because they're keeping him shooting outside shots, and that's what they want to do all night long on the other side.
Well, I'm not sure anybody has really made an effort to get inside on the IPFW side. Andrew Clark hits the first free throw.
By the way, Zelko is checked back in, so it'll be his first appearance of the night after 5 threes on Monday night against Valpo.
Yeah, but I don't think they want Zelko shooting threes tonight. I think they'd like to see what his presence is inside, and he has a really nice presence. On the offensive board, he really gets great position. Clark's second free throw, that's back of the rim, no good, and it is Scott to grab it down, and the Dons will try to push it up and get the lead back. Scott from Perkins on the right side. Draws a couple of guys out near the corner. Crosses now to Brothers on the left side. Has the ball batted away from him, and it'll go to the Dons.
Indeed, coming out of a timeout, you'd like to feel like you got a chance to assess their defense. Dane Fife probably pointed out a few things they're not attacking that zone, and I think you'll see a little more crisp offense from the Dons now that they've had that time to regroup a little bit.
Okay, but nobody's cutting, Brian. I think you take a look at this. Hawkins is getting double teamed in the corner. Perkins out top. Carruthers, little shuffle step that I'm surprised he didn't get called for. Kick back outside to Zelko. Here's Perkins, almost got caught for
now
one
you're gonna
there.
have to force one.
Here is Perkins to launch one. Actually, that is Scott to drop it in for 3.
With 2 left on the shot clock, when it goes down, it looks pretty.
But they struggled on that. They really struggled to get a good shot. Fregoso, guard out there by Perkins. Crosses to the right side, into the lane, spicks outside. Hacius with it, feeds inside. Goree has to go through his hands. It's loose. He gets it back. No, he doesn't get it back. It is Scott to grab it away. Nice move there by the Dons, and they look for a little bit more.
That's the defensive pressure coach was talking about, and he's feeling it now.
He is, and he's got it.
When he gets on, watch out, and you can just see it in his eye.
Well, the thing is, if he starts hitting those shots with regularity, somebody's going to have to come out and get him. Therefore, somebody else will be open.
Yeah, you can talk about keeping it out of the paint, but if DeWitt Scott starts nailing those, they're obviously going to have to come out on him. Now they need a good defensive stop.
Fragoso comes right between everybody else, can't get it done. Clark tries a tip, it goes out of bounds, and it'll belong to the Warriors. Fragoso was kind of in no man's land there and got himself in a whole lot of trouble, and the only thing he could do is throw it up and hope for a prayer. The prayer was not answered.
Prayer was not answered. Don's on a nice little run here. They've opened up a 5-point lead and like to get the ball back.
Gets outside. It's stolen away by Perkins. He's tied up by Fragoso, and that's a nice play because that was a really bad pass that Fragoso had to scramble just to get the tie up.
Yeah, if you're going to throw that pass, you better throw it into the backcourt, especially with a guy like Perkins. And this is a team that's probably not used to seeing this quickness that IPFW has. There aren't many guys at their level with the speed of quickness of Perkins.
The possession arrow gives that one to the Warriors, and they will inbound. Fragoso to take it in the back. Move it up to the right side. Fired out there by Perkins. Cutting is Brent. It's no good. And then there, that's Haitius to hit the shot, but is it going to count? No basket.
Waving it off.
So we have a foul on Steve McCune, who apparently has gone in under the radar, and he is now in there for the Warriors. So
we're just 6 minutes into this when in Rochester College already 3 offensive fouls.
And Francis Ramirez is also checked in, and Ragoso has come out. So they play about a 10 to 12-man rotation, we're told, and they'll put a few guys in. And they'll have to because they've got to stay with the Dons physically. Dons have also made a substitution as Pat Lepper has come into the game. Scott to the right side. Gets to the corner to Hawkins. Inside Zelko. Almost a little too much of a step. Lepper grabs a loose ball on the baseline. Kicks it back outside. Nice save by Scott, but it goes off the hands of Hawkins, and into the forecourt comes Ramirez with it. He'll slow it down now as the numbers were not there. Perkins has him, and he threw a pass, and nobody thought that was coming.
Yeah, that was the first official turnover for the Dons. Rochester now with 4, and that doesn't count any of those offensive fouls they've been whistled for.
McCune didn't get the memo on that pass. So the turnover puts the ball back in the hands of the Dons with their biggest lead of the night so far at 5 at 13-8. Scott off to Perkins. Looks back to Scott. He's not going to try from out there, but Hawkins will from the wing. That's no good. Zelko, great positioning. Got it back outside. Here is Scott with another, and got another.
3 in a row for DeWitt Scott.
Actually, 4.
4 in a row.
He has 12. And he is, this is the Scott we remember seeing all last year. He was lights out. That's Colt Walker into the game now, and he was operating with the ball. Rochester trying to make it work happen, and Ramirez. Haitius back outside Ramirez. They're going to reset with 14 on the shot clock. He goes to work on Perkins, who eludes a screen. Into another man, O'Day Baylor is checked in now. Here is to Colt Walker.
That's going to be another offensive foul against Rochester.
I'll tell you what, I would their coaching staff, I'd be a little upset right now. All these don't look like that evident.
There will be teams go an entire game without getting 4 offensive fouls, and we're just over 7 minutes in, and all of a sudden Rochester, the Warriors, have 4.
Well, but that may be what the Dons have tried to do, is play the tougher defense without fouling, and they're actually getting away with it.
Well, I can tell you as a coach, Dean, you teach your player to get to the spot before they do, and the Dons have done a nice job of getting there, and if you're not there, you act like it. Sometimes you get the call.
And we also have another foul called now. That is the 16th foul on the Warriors, and we are not even halfway through the first half. Dons will inbound, and have to get it in quick. Comes to Hawkins, outside to Zelko. He gets it back from Scott, who gets it back now from Zelko, and he'll bomb it again. Oh, brother. Are you kidding me?
You might want to adjust the defense at this point. 5 for DeWitt Scott. And the tough part is they don't want to get the ball inside, which they've done successfully, but DeWitt Scott's definitely beaten from outside.
He hasn't had to work for any of the shots either, Ryan. Here's the pass into Taylor out top. Now
Well,
Clark
I think
takes
what
it on
Coach
the right
Fife
side.
likes is he's playing with that intensity on defense as well. A lot of players will do that.
Haitius off to Leafrant on the drive. Baseline, no good on denial of the ball.
It's a good job by Zelko. He comes over, and instead of committing a foul, he's big enough to just put his hands straight up, and it stops the drive.
Well, and Ramirez has got to realize if you're the size he is, which isn't very big, and you're taking it against big guys, there's no opening in the middle. Jakari Johnson is seeing his first time out there, and the red-hot DeWitt Scott comes out for a breather.
Well, and here
Tyler
comes
Best
Jerron
back in.
Burroughs as
Yeah.
well, and that's a guy Monday that didn't play the entire first half and came in and really sparked them in the second half. I'm not surprised that he gets the call 8 minutes in here.
Eggert comes out, Hawkins comes out. So Dons have opened up the rotation a little bit tonight.
And DeWitt Scott's probably saying, Coach, I've hit 5 in a row. Leave me out there.
Baylor with a scoop shot that is
That's
very
a pretty
pretty.
shot.
He had to get that around a few people, and he did the job and brought it back to a 19-10 game as the Dons had upped it to a double-figure lead, mostly behind the long side shooting of Scott.
Rochester staying in that 1-3-1 trapping zone and really doing a good job of pressuring the ball right
Well,
now.
I thought Ragoso had tied up Johnson there.
That's what happens. You pressure the ball and good things happen. And
Correa with the steal. Ragoso's back in the outside to Leifrant. Scoops it away, goes into the low post. Up and off the back of the rim, no good with the shot is Goree, but the tip it is good. Clark gets the tip, and Rochester getting themselves back into this ball game.
yeah,
Now
the Dons
19-12.
sub there, and it's a quick 4-0 run after the Dons opened up the biggest lead of the game, which was 11 points.
Best, left corner, inside, all alone. They had a shot in there easily for Burrows, but they covered up pretty good, and he was fouled. And it looks like we're coming over for another media timeout. With 11-12 to go in the first half, Dons with a 19-12 lead over the Rochester College Warriors. And you will be right back, and we will be right back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils? That you do your best.
And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Play back in now as Burrows will shoot the first and hit it. His first point. Burrows hitting the first of two. He'll get another. That lead stretches the Dons lead stretch, we should say, to 20-12 as Burrows will try another. 15 points for Scott on 5 threes has been the biggest story of the first half.
Getting a little breather, but I would suspect within a minute or so we will see number 3 back out on the floor. Don stayed in man-to-man defense, which clearly is what Coach Fife wants to emphasize tonight, is getting after a man-to-man.
And Savely is in there now as well, as the Dons have pretty much used about everybody they regularly would use in a rotation.
This is not an easy offense to screen. I listened to it on their timeout again. They're talking about screening, and they really, not a Princeton style of offense, but they move a lot, and you'll get tired guarding your man for 40 minutes on a night like this.
Leifrant tries the triple. He got it. And brings them back within 6 at 21-15. Leifrant has 10. He has done a pretty good job himself to do some scoring. Savely, Lepper, left side. Undercut is Savely, off the glass, too hard.
Good fall
rebound
by
up
Burrows.
and in by Burrows.
Burrows does a lot of things well, and that's just one of them, going to the offensive boards.
Well, you're not blocked out. You're going to get a good shot like that.
That's right. And look who's checking back in.
You betcha.
DeWitt Scott couldn't get to the table quick enough.
Well, it got close. Burrows with a
That's
nice
gonna be a
defensive play.
turnover.
It's in the backcourt. He touched it in the
Yep.
forecourt and
If
got
he
it
doesn't
loose.
touch it, yeah.
But now what do we have? Shot clock did, well, that's interesting. 33 seconds on the shot clock. And I know it went longer than that.
Yeah, that's right.
What you had is, I think somebody did a reset thinking there was going to be a change in possession.
Anticipating.
And didn't work that out that way.
You know, that's the kind of aggressiveness IPFW wants to see defensively.
Actually, I think Rochester's getting a little benefit here because I'm not sure there's that much time left
There
in the
might
shot
not
clock.
have been.
Fregoso with the basketball. Savely all over him like mustard plaster. He gets over the timeline, though. He toe traveled a little bit there. Did you see that?
Got away with one.
You did, he did. Goree going around Burrows. No place to go. Burrows with a nice block. Nice clean block out of
Well,
bounds.
if you're going to get beat off the dribble, get your hand in there and get a block. Now they got to get a quick one-timer, and they'll go to a set play here. So IPFW definitely wants to keep it out of the middle.
Nice play by Burrows, too, because he could have gotten himself in trouble going over the back. He usually can, and he didn't do it. All right, the inbound will be when somebody gets open, and he's having trouble getting it. Clark finally gets himself open. He goes over Burrows with a short jumper. Missed everything. Got the back of the backboard, but nothing of the rim.
Is going to concern Coach Fife, though, is they're recovering in ways that against an athletic team like Indiana State you wouldn't be able to. You can get beat off the dribble and recover when you're 4 inches taller than some of these guys, but if they make these mistakes in other games, they're going to be in trouble.
But you know what? Tape doesn't lie tomorrow.
It doesn't, and they'll watch it.
You betcha. Here's Scott. 3 guys ran at him. They've learned that one. Here's Best. Crossing out to Carruthers, he'll go up.
First shot of the night for
no
Quentin
good.
Carruthers.
Burrows looks for the rebound. It's Saley grabbing it off the floor. He is clobbered, and I guess we're going to get the call on Ragoso.
He didn't agree with it, but boy, he all but tackled him.
It was effective. It got him to the ground and caused a fumble.
That's right in front of the referee, but he thought he got all ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's the only one on his bench that didn't think it was a foul.
Yeah, he looks to the bench, and it's like nobody's going to argue that call. Yeah, Savely got hurt on that play. He gave him some great minutes on Monday night when Carruthers got early fouls.
Savely was flexing his left elbow. I think that's probably what he landed on.
Tyler Best out of the game again. I think Coach Fife probably a little disappointed that he has not provided the spark he was hoping for.
He has
tonight.
no buckets and 2-2 from the line. Savely from the line. Rims the first one. He won't get a second one. Clark grabs the rebound on the 1-and-1. Ragoso. Nice reversal of the dribble to get away from Savely and get over the timeline. Yo it outside. Gets a screen. Moving screen. Ragoso out top. Leibrandt has no shot. Goes now to Goree, and we have another whistle. We have another offensive foul.
This could be number 5. It sure is.
You bet. And it's Fregoso.
Garth Pleasant he's got his head in his hands right now, Dean.
Well, I believe he may have picked up either his second or third. He's going to have to come out. They've got him listed for his second, and he picked him up in about 30 seconds.
Well, at some point, they've got 9 fouls. They're going to have to think about pulling back the 3/4 court defense because you will commit more fouls. And
well, there's a nice move there. Ramirez made a nice steal, and he ends up with the basketball. Savely picks him up. Ramirez looking for a man to get it open to. Got it to Leibrandt. Out top, Goree. Ramirez, right side.
IPFW's doing a real good job
Patience.
of attacking on defense.
Goes in the lane, Goree. Double pumps once, puts it up, puts it in, count the foul.
That's too bad because for 15 seconds on that possession, they really did a good job defensively. When you get the ball down and low, you're going to be in trouble.
And I'll tell you what, Goree is not the biggest guy in that mess down there.
No, he's not.
And he managed to get a shot away that was pretty tough to get down.
Yeah,
he
just
got
a 6'5" senior. In fact, every kid on this roster, Dean, is from the state of Michigan. And Garth Pleasant is the winningest coach in Michigan. So he's definitely got Tommy Amaker right now. You know, when you coach 30 years, you chalk up a lot of wins.
Missed free throw. The Dons are quickly back up with it. Carruthers on the drive and laying it up and in.
That's the kind of transition they want to see.
That's the kind of play that they are capable of every possession, and I think Dane Fife doesn't see it enough, and it frustrates him. Goree gets outside. Ramirez, ball fake, moves it outside. Here's an opening, another whistle,
number
and
6.
we have another offensive foul. And this is Ramirez. And you know, Merlin Nice has made just about every one of those offensive foul calls. He's almost like honed in on that.
That one was hard to miss because the Warrior just bowled over a Don right in front of him.
Hawkins set to check back in, and he will come in. And Burrows will come out. Burrows had a nice little stay out
He
there.
gave some good minutes.
So Eggerick, Savely, Scott, Carruthers, and Hawkins on the floor now for the Dons, who lead this one by 8 at 25-17. Savely, bounce pass up to Carruthers. Back outside Zelko to Scott. Savely fakes the shot, goes in the baseline, denied there. Back outside, Carruthers, nice touch
Good
pass.
ball movement.
Hawkins 4-3, front of the rim, no good. Batted away by Savely after Goree had grabbed the rebound, and it'll belong to Rochester.
Dons are doing a good job moving the ball. That's just a shot they want to knock down. But on the game, shooting pretty well at this point, 44%, which is definitely higher than the last 2 games.
Scotia over 8 minutes left to go in the first half. The Dons with the 8-point lead and on defense right now. Leibrandt goes to high post to Clark, who is in the wheel. Gets it back. Leibrandt into the plate from about 14. Rims around, no good. Goes after his rebound very aggressively, and Zelko grabs the rebound off the floor. I'll tell you what, Leibrandt could not be faulted for the effort he put there.
No, absolutely. He's one of their best shooters and clearly a guy that's going to get out there and hustle. DeWitt Scott's got to be patient. You know he wants to pull the trigger.
Carruthers spins away from Gary, puts it up, puts it in, from about 15 on the baseline. When he's on with that shot, there are few better at this level.
He's pretty tough.
Ramirez, high post to Clark, back to Ramirez. Thought about the three, safely got out on him real quick. Back to Gary. Here is Lee Prant.
It's a very patient offense. They do a good job of waiting for that shot and make you play 30 seconds of defense.
But the Dons, are you kidding me? Another offensive foul.
Yeah, 5-second call on that point. Good job by Quentin Carruthers getting after him.
And we have the officials timeout, the media timeout, with the score. Dons 27, Rochester 17. We'll be right back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
Pizza! Pizza! Must eat. Wait, what is this? Capsicum anum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Keep up with the IPFW women's basketball team each week through the season by tuning into the Chris Paul Show beginning November 22nd, Wednesdays at 6:30, Fridays at 6:30, Saturdays at 12:30 p.m. on College 5. Coach Paul joined by host Mike Maz and Ruth Yu of the recent games. Talk with players and guests and previews upcoming games. The Chris Paul Show, Wednesdays at 6:30, Fridays at 6:30, Saturdays at 12:30 on College 5.
Dean, I want to play for Coach Pleasant. He's yelling at his big man to shoot the ball.
I'll tell you what, he has been a study in restraint because some of the beginnings these guys have done have not been very good. Perkins tries the long one, it's no good.
Rebound by
with the rebound,
Zelko.
and he got it. And Carruthers just turned an ankle,
hurt,
and he needs to come out. And let's see if they're going to call it right away.
They're
He's
going to
hopping
play
around.
5-on-4 right now because he can't keep up with this guy.
Yep, and they're going to get Lepper in there as soon as they can, and they're going to need a stoppage, and they're not getting that right now. And Q's doing a heck of a job playing defense on one leg. Grabbed out of bounds and knocked out of bounds.
That's the break they needed.
And it'll go to the Dons. And he turned his ankle, and he's actually looking a lot better than he was originally.
I think
he's trying to try to just walk it off. But you feel that twinge right away, and you just say, I can't play out here, Coach. Get me out here as soon as you can.
Well, that's the smart thing to do. He doesn't want to make it any worse.
So Lepper steps in, and they don't want Carruthers out of there too long if he's okay.
IPFW was expecting different looks, but they've only seen this 1-3-1 trapping zone. And I guess Rochester feeling like it's pretty effective, so they're going to stay in it.
They're also not cutting a lot of guys through the middle, if you noticed.
Yeah, they really haven't.
Long bomb by Lepper. You don't have to when you're shooting like that.
No, sure don't.
Lepper hits his first three of the night, and the Dons draw to a 12-point, actually a 15-point
You know, Dean,
lead.
he had some good minutes on Monday. He's a guy that continues to come on a little bit, and they're really counting on him this year.
Top of the key, Gary works on it. Hawkins on him to Ramirez. Uses a screen, puts up the three. No good. Rebound out of there. That
Good
is Scott.
position by DeWitt Scott.
Up comes Perkins as the Dons look to up that lead a little further. To Hawkins, drives the baseline, cut off by 4 purple jerseys. But outside it goes to Zelko. Not quite this time. And the gray of the rebound and a foul on Hawkins.
Well, I tell
as
you
Clark
what,
will go to the line.
Hawkins got robbed there. He just was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and the Rochester Warrior just happened to come down over his back.
Well, he was in position, and give Clark credit. I mean, he was aggressively going after the defensive rebound, and you got to give a guy room to land.
Absolutely.
Just the way you got to go. So we'll check a few more people in now. Colt Walker checks in for Rochester. Here comes Tom Webb. I believe this might be his first action.
Yeah, first time we've seen him tonight. And we've seen just about everybody on that bench so far. They're playing a lot of guys.
He uses the ball.
You know, the Dons have quietly opened up a 15-point lead here, and I think defensively right now is where Dane Fife would love to see a solid 5 minutes heading into the locker room.
Well, they've had a lot of possessions off those offensive fouls. That's probably been the key point of getting that done. That and the shooting of Scott. Webb with the ball. Goes up top to Witchner. On the drive, pulling up McCune. Puts it up, puts it in. Nice drive on the baseline. McCune gets his first 2 of the night. And the Dons are up by 13 at 32-19. Scott, right side. Looks for Perkins, has him. They're really playing tight man-to-man. And doing
you
a
got to
very
give them
aggressive
credit.
job.
They've come into the Dons' home gym and played them pretty tough.
Nice touch pass. Scott for 3 more. Oh, it's got that thing that looked like a bushel basket.
He is
to him.
on fire. 6 threes in the first half alone.
18 points to lead everybody.
He's only missed one. He's 6 for 7 on the night.
Looks inside. Zelko, a nice defensive play. It goes out top now, and McCune fakes the shot. Goes outside. That is Whitner. It is no good. Zelko with the rebound.
Well, DeWitt Scott did a good job of getting his hand in his face. He's really doing it at both ends, and now they want to come down and attack.
Lepper kicks back outside to Perkins. Back to Lepper. He wanted to load up a 3. Didn't quite get it because Walker came out on him. Perkins. Zelko trying to get the little move in the cut at the top of the key. Lepper lost control of the basketball but got it back. Dons have 17 to shoot. Perkins stops into the lane.
Nice
Inside.
pass.
Egerich up. No good.
Oh, he's got to finish there.
He
Yep.
was too open.
Great looking pass from Perkins.
He rushed it a little too much, and the rebound down to Webb, and he brings it up to where the active play now comes to Wichner. He is fouled. And I believe that'll go to Lepper.
Yeah, Zelko's shaking his head because he knows that's a great opportunity. But sometimes, especially.
They got Zelko inside.
Yeah.
Lepper did a nice little chop there on the arm of the guy who had the ball. And that's where I thought it was him. But it will be Egerich. Dons only have committed 5 team fouls. So we won't be shooting. 4:06 to go. 35-19. Isn't it nice to be at home sometimes with these situations?
It is nice to be at home.
Because 7 offensive fouls and you only have 5 in the first half. It doesn't hurt to be at home.
Zelko getting a breather now as Tyler Best checks back in.
Goree inbounds. Clark kicks it back outside to Webb. He tries to get away from Perkins, who I don't believe has seen some time on the floor. I don't think he's left the floor. Goes
No,
to
he's
the
really done a
backcourt.
good job.
Tip. And it'll just continue to be the possession. No backcourt call. Webb. That's Whitner. Goree.
Boy, a battle going on inside between Clark and Hawkins.
Here's a drive, a scoop that is no good by Whitner, and the ball is on the floor. Clark picks it up. Dons don't get the rebound, and Rochester has a reset with 3:33 to go in the first half. To Webb. Tries to get away from Perkins.
This is where, Dean, it's hard to play defense for 60 seconds straight, but you find out what your team's all about. It's a hard stretch, and you got to keep up the intensity, and they have to this point.
Bombs away by Goree, no good. On the floor, Perkins has the rebound. Dons have looked like numbers, but he's going to take it all away. They didn't have the numbers. They finally kick it out. Best in the corner. And they tried to get it Perkins, but Perkins traveled with the basketball, and the turnover is to Rochester, and we have a timeout with the score 35-19 for the Dons. We'll be back with more Mastodons basketball action right after this.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Join head coach Dane Fife on College 5 beginning November 22nd for the Dane Fife Show, featuring highlights and insights on the Mastodons from coach and his guests. Mike Maas hosts the show on Wednesdays at 7 p.m., Fridays at 7 p.m., Saturdays at 12 noon, right here on College Access, Channel 5. Play back in now, 35-19. The Dons lead it, but Rochester with the basketball out top. Whitner crosses over to Leprant. Now they throw it away, but it's touched last by Jakari Johnson. They were trying to get it over to Whitner, and he had it bashed away. So with 23 seconds to go, Rochester continues with their possession.
The Dons guards continue to do a good job of getting pressure on the ball, and that's where it all starts, up front.
Ramirez is back in the game, and he gives it off to Whitner. Leprant. Goree working on Hawkins. Moves it in. kicks back outside, 10 to shoot. Ramirez back outside. Lieprandt guarded very tightly. They don't have a good shot here. 4, 3,
That's
2.
great
We're going to have and a turnover. Would have been a turnover one way or the other.
That's right.
Here's Scott, but he wanted to load up, didn't do it. Best, Perkins, Scott's open, on the way, count it.
Never a doubt. 7 point on the night. A guy that came in, Dean, averaging 5 points a game, but that is very misleading. And
I'll tell you what, one guy who is seeing quite enough of this is Garth Pleasant, who is not feeling very pleasant right now about the defense that's being played on Scott.
First words out of his mouth, Dean, who were we talking about? We're talking about DeWitt Scott.
Well, and we've been talking about DeWitt Scott, too, because he had struggled in the first couple of games, had not been himself. And just to see the kid, he's one of the nicest kids you'll ever meet.
Absolutely.
To see him just find that touch, and now in the last 4, Ryan, the first 3, they were, he was looking at the shot. The last 4, he just flung it.
Well, and that's
he feels
what, if he brings this effort, certainly played well against Valpo. This is the DeWitt Scott that Dane Fife knows that he talked about his improvement in the offseason, not just his shooting, but his quickness, his defense, and clearly we're seeing the explosive offensive ability of DeWitt Scott because he's a kid from Whitney Young High School in Chicago where they can play some basketball.
I predict that when we have the first half highlights, he'll figure prominently.
You think he might figure in?
Just a guess on my part. 2:15 to go. Dons have doubled up the score. It's 38-19.
DeWitt Scott is just 5 shy of his career high, which is 26 against Valpo of last year.
He can have these nights. He just needs to have more of them. Dons really need that to happen. Lieprandt into the lane. Nice drive. Goes to the left-handed, scores, and counted with a foul.
Going to be on DeWitt Scott.
That was all him. I mean, he might have gotten a little screen out top to find a little bit of an opening, but the rest of that was all Lieprandt. He picks up his 12th point. He is the leading scorer for Rochester. And there's a good sign. Carruthers back in.
Yeah, he's going to come in for DeWitt Scott, who just picked up his second. Carruthers looks to be running pretty well on his ankle.
Well, you played a lot more athletically deeper in your career than I did. I was done by JV. But we all know that if you can't sit around on an ankle, and the quicker he's back out there, the better off he's going to be. Lieprandt trying for the three-point play. It doesn't know. I'll tell you what, Hawkins got elbowed out of the way there, and Rochester got the rebound.
It's a scrappy team. They certainly, we talked about this being their biggest game of the year, and you can see it, coming in. They've come out very aggressive, a team that is not, in my opinion, nearly as athletic as the Dons.
Ramirez, guarded by Perkins. I really don't think Perkins has left the floor.
No, he's done a great job defensively. He may have come out for a quick breather, but he's a guy they want in there, and this guy likes to shoot, Leopold.
Oh, Lieprandt loves the shot. The shot didn't love him, though, that time, though, and here it comes. Dons have numbers. Inside to Carruthers, fakes 2 men up in the air, tries to scoop it off. He was in no man's land, but Rochester bailed him out with a foul. And that foul will go against O'Day Baylor, guard out of Lake Orion, Michigan. They're going to build a new. Rochester is a college that plays its entire schedule in 3 different high school gyms.
They do.
And, that's kind of tough to do, but there is a new edifice being built for them up there as Carruthers hits the first free throw. And fittingly enough, Garth Pleasant, their longtime coach, will be the namesake of that place. And just seeing the drawings, it's very nice. For a school their size, that'll be very, very nice facility.
Yeah, talking to him before the game, very nice coach, and he was saying they actually had 2 guys he was counting on this year. In a small school, if you lose 2 guys off your basketball program, you clearly are less than what you thought they'd be. They've had some national championships, and they've done a good job tonight. They clearly are a little outclassed in terms of talent and height, but definitely have a lot of heart.
Hugh dropped them both. He has 6, and the Dons have a 40-21 lead. Lieprandt, who hasn't met a shot he hasn't liked in this game. No, he doesn't have that one. McCune gets away from DeJohnson, gets a nice pass to Lieprandt, who drives the baseline, feeds off to Goree, and he hits it. Nice play.
Well, those are the plays that they're going to focus on at halftime, the breakdowns. Now they're going full court pressure now in the final minute and a half.
Well, they're trying to win a little mini game here, I think. Scoops into the lane. Carruthers goes back outside to Hawkins. Dons with 26 left on the shot clock as we're under a minute in the first half. Here's Jakari Johnson for 3, long, and on the floor. Goree grabs the rebound, and he stepped on the end line.
Yep, stepped on the line.
Check that, it was Baylor who is the guy that checked on that.
Dons continue to shoot a lot of threes, Dean. 16 on the night. They shot 33 against Valpo, and when you're hitting 50% like they are tonight, it certainly is not a bad percentage.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do a little more inside, though, because they do have the size advantage.
They just haven't had that force tonight for some reason.
Johnson back to Carruthers. Hawkins. Perkins looking inside for Best. Thought he had position. I thought he did, too. They didn't get it into him. Crosses to Johnson. Jakari has it batted away. Lee Prent makes a nice play, but Best is back at this end line, and
still time here. They need 15 seconds, get a good shot.
And Jakari's going to take it, and goes back of the rim, no good. Rebounded out of there, and that's Ramirez on the run. Into the forecourt, taking it all the way, leaving it off. Gary does that no good. And
kind of a wild shot.
And the Dons will come out with a nice outlet
They've
pass
got
by
numbers.
Carruthers. Up to Hawkins, who lost the ball, and he's just frustrated.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Up ahead comes Baylor.
Dons had a 3-on-1. They couldn't finish.
Lee Prent on the fly, no good.
They've
And
still
with
got
6
time
seconds
here.
to go, here we come. It is Perkins. He'll scoop it up, backed away by Ramirez, and the horn will sound as he launches one way wide right.
That was an ugly 45 seconds.
40 to 23. The Dons lead this one at the half. We'll be back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
You know, if she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour, unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales, you're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. The women's volleyball team capped off a fabulous season, winning the independent championship at North Dakota State. The Dons defeated Texas Pan American, North Dakota State, and Utah Valley State on their way to the title. Freshman Rebecca Ream was named the tournament's most valuable player, and Sonara Martins joined her on the all-tournament team. IPFW finished a great year at 26-10. The women's basketball team opened with a 66-55 victory over Toledo last Saturday at the Gates Center. They'll play at the Carolina Classic at UNC Asheville this weekend. The men's basketball team fell in their home opener, losing to Valparaiso 75-67 Monday at the Coliseum. IPFW continues its homestand Wednesday against Rochester College. Then Indiana State visits the Coliseum Sunday for homecoming. Tip-off is 4 p.m. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Yeah. Good.
But now the independence is gone, and now you go to the Mid-Con next year to deal with it, and in a situation where things will change a lot more. Just so we have lights off for a little bit, so now we have those back in here now. So let's reiterate how you felt with your team's play in the independent tournament. Obviously, you won, you had to be happy about it. Were you happy with the way they played?
Well, you know, against North Dakota State, we fought hard. We didn't necessarily play well, but we found a way to win, and that was really a characteristic of this team from the second half of the season on, just playing tough. And then against Utah Valley State in the final match of the year, we played really well.
All right, the recruiting's pretty much done. You've signed 3 kids. Tell us a little bit about them.
2 kids from Michigan, a kid from Illinois. We're very excited. They add some size and athleticism, and we're very excited about those 3 early signees.
Will and you're not losing a lot of kids, so you'll have quite a bit back. How will you look next year? Is it change of style and play, or is it your style and they just adjust to it?
you know, we have a good history here and a very balanced attack, and don't have to lean on any one person too much. We'll absolutely miss seniors Claire Jackson, Nicole Howell, and Amanda Feaster, but the addition of 3 freshmen, I feel like we'll be in a good position to contend for that Mid-Continent Conference title next year.
What do you know about the conference's abilities with the other member schools in women's volleyball?
Well, you know, it's tough top to bottom, especially with the addition now of the other 2 schools that were added. North Dakota State, South Dakota State are very good volleyball schools with solid tradition. And Oral Roberts, we played this year, lost to them, and they're traditionally very, very good.
So the outlook is good. The optimism is there. How do the girls feel about it coming back next year and getting back to it? Do they just want to start again? I'm sure they don't want to practice anymore, but I'm sure they'd like to get back at it as soon as possible.
Well, they've earned some mental and physical rest, and I think they're excited about being in class every single day and finishing the academic semester strong. But, you know, next year, the opportunity of competing for a Mid-Continent Conference title and hopefully an NCAA berth is exciting for them.
She is Kelly Hartley-Hutton, the women's volleyball coach at IPFW, independent national champions. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dean.
I appreciate it. We'll be back with more Mastodons basketball right after this.
Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. The women's volleyball team capped off a fabulous season, winning the independent championship at North Dakota State. The Dons defeated Texas Pan American, North Dakota State, and Utah Valley State on their way to the title. Freshman Rebecca Ream was named the tournament's most valuable player, and Sonara Martins joined her on the all-tournament team. IPFW finished a great year at 26-10. The women's basketball team opened with a 66-55 victory over Toledo last Saturday at the Gates Center. They'll play at the Carolina Classic at UNC Asheville this weekend. The men's basketball team fell in their home opener, losing to Valparaiso 75-67 Monday at the Coliseum. IPFW continues its homestand Wednesday against Rochester College. Then Indiana State visits the Coliseum Sunday for homecoming. Tip-off is 4 p.m. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Forty to 23, the Dons lead it at the half here at the Coliseum over Rochester College. Dean Tantazzi back here with Ryan Elijah. 2 things come to mind. DeWitt Scott.
Yeah.
And offensive fouls by Rochester.
Absolutely. You know, you almost have more offensive fouls. DeWitt's got only 5 away from a career high. He's got 21, 7 for 8. But I think that masks some problems. You look at Tyler Best and Justin Hawkins. They're 2 big men inside. They're 0 for 4, only 2 rebounds. They've just, if you look at 1 negative for the half, that's got to be it.
Well, and the other thing I would point out is, and it's a holdover somewhat from last season that I thought they had fixed toward the end of last season, is there's not any inside movement.
Yeah.
You get a lot of perimeter out there, and they're watching DeWitt Scott launch him, which is not all bad when you're 7 of 8, but you're not getting the bigs into the middle. You see Tyler trying to call for the ball, and there have been times when there is an opening there. I mean, it would take a nice little loop, but he seems to have the height advantage to be able to get that done. They're not getting it inside.
Yeah, and the bottom line, they're up 17 points, but I think if you look at the talent level, especially on the inside play, Dane Fife would be disappointed as to where they're at right now. I don't think he feels they controlled the paint. and in some cases might have gotten out-hustled by a team that we talked about would give it everything they've got.
Well, you had the situation also of Rochester shooting itself in the foot with, what, 6 or 7
I think it's 7 offensive fouls, yeah.
which, killed 7 possessions.
Yeah.
And that's potentially 14 points or more that they threw right back into the water because it wasn't going to happen. Now here you got Scott. And believe me, this is going to be the rainbow the whole night.
He's just got such a good stroke, but even right here where he gets one, it's a ball they're trying to get to Hawkins, and it ends up in the hands of Scott, which he was more than happy to shoot the rock from out there. But just look how confident he is when he's shooting the ball.
Well, and he's confident because he's not taking any time launching the ball. He's just getting it in there. And there Burrows with a nice play on the inside, maybe the only really good inside play of the afternoon.
Yeah, and this is what they want to see more of, and that's a transition game. And who better to do it than Quentin Carruthers?
It was good to see him shake off the bad ankle that he suffered midway to late points of the first half, and he had some nice shots in there. He came into the half with 6 points. And there's Zelko with a nice putback there as well. So there has been some movement inside, but in 20 minutes, we may have seen the only 3 plays that were effective
Absolutely,
inside.
and the Dons are shooting 46%, which is good there. For a while, they were down in the 30s, and they hold Rochester to 36, which is good for Dane 5. He doesn't want a team like this that is not as talented to come out and shoot over 40% against them.
So the field goals for the Warriors hitting 9 of 25, only 28.6%. The Dons 13 of 28, and believe me, without Mr. Scott, that wouldn't be very good. 3.8 of 16. Without Mr. Scott, that's Rochester. Every one of those is an offensive foul.
Yeah,
they didn't throw the ball away. They threw, and the Dons didn't too bad. But 6 turnovers in the first half, 7 turnovers in the first half for either team. That's not too bad. Assists 9 to 4. The Dons are doing a little bit more in the playmaking, and the rebounds only 18 to 17, which is kind of surprising because the Dons have the physical and aggressive advantage, you would think.
And especially the one thing to consider on the turnovers is this team came out in Rochester and played full court defense most of the half, and DeWitt Scott clearly dominates this page. But other than him, it's been very few and far between. A lot of guys scoring, but DeWitt Scott, it's been his show this first half.
21 of the 40 points the Dons got. The next guy's on the ledger leader, Carruthers with 6 and Burrows with 4. Leafrant, who has thrown up a lot of shots. It's only 7, it says. I think it's more than that. I think they're being nice. And Goree with 4, the next highest score. 40-23, the Dons lead it as we continue through halftime here.
Go Dons, that's right.
Rochester. Honest to God, the nice little take-home thing that the guys are going to get to take home. The fans get these Go Dons bones, kind of foam bones.
Yeah, DeWitt Scott wants to be throwing a few more bones in the second half.
Well, I tell you what, and I'm sure that in the Rochester huddle right now, they are going to make sure priority number 1 is that he is not giving any more bones thrown to him in the second half. 40-23, the Dons lead it. We'll be right back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. The women's volleyball team capped off a fabulous season, winning the independent championship at North Dakota State. The Dons defeated Texas Pan American, North Dakota State, and Utah Valley State on their way to the title. Freshman Rebecca Ream was named the tournament's most valuable player, and Sonara Martins joined her on the all-tournament team. IPFW finished a great year at 26-10. The women's basketball team opened with a 66-55 victory over Toledo last Saturday at the Gates Center. They'll play at the Carolina Classic at UNC Asheville this weekend. The men's basketball team fell in their home opener, losing to Valparaiso 75-67 Monday at the Coliseum. IPFW continues its homestand Wednesday against Rochester College. Then Indiana State visits the Coliseum Sunday for homecoming. Tip-off is 4 p.m. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Back at the Coliseum, 40-23, the Dons lead it over Rochester College. Dean Fantasy along with Ryan Elijah. The obvious things notwithstanding, cut down the offensive fouls for Rochester and go find Scott. What are some of the keys?
Absolutely. You know, it's funny, Dean, you think like a coach, and I thought two things in my head. And Tony Jasic, I just talked to him, said that he's very disappointed in 5 is in the fact they've given up too many offensive rebounds. You know, we talked about the rebounding, and he didn't think they were working through the screens well enough. So he talked about that against their defense, to fight through those screens and clearly to own the boards. They don't want to give this team more offensive boards. They don't want to give many. And that's the one thing, even though it was an upbeat speech, those are the things you're going to focus on.
You have a 17-point lead here at the half. At what point do you start looking at this as saying, okay, we think we've got this taken care of. Let's start rotating some guys in and get some guys ready for down the road.
Well, I got to tell you, if I'm Dane Fife, I don't. I want to make a statement here. You want to get your guys in. He's going to play his 8, 9, maybe 10 guys, but I wait till the final minutes. I want to send a message to my team that we're going to execute at a certain level, and once he does that, I think he'll start subbing, but I think he wants to see 10, 12 solid minutes of what they've continued to do.
Because you know, been around basketball, and any fan knows 17 points at halftime is far from insurmountable.
Yeah, and I'm sure losing this game is the farthest thing from his mind right now. He wants his team to come out and compete at the level they can and really bury this team early.
My guess would be that that was probably the top thing in the halftime talk.
Yeah.
So we're ready to go in the final 20 minutes of this game.
Same 1-3-1 zone we saw early on.
And the original starters are all in there. Brothers crossing over to Whit Scott. Boy, they came out on him quick that time. That word has gotten out. Carruthers scooping in, back to Scott. He gets open, misses. Might just have been this basket down here.
It's his first miss since about the 3rd minute of the game.
Well, he's shooting another basket now. So he's got to get honed in again. They got the rebound, they got to reset. 20 seconds into the second half. Scott has it. It is Perkins.
Yeah, I was never one to right out of the gate come out and shoot out of the second half. Takes you a while to get going sometimes.
Carruthers kicks back out. Perkins will try a triple. Rims around, rims it in.
Uses it all. Good start for the Dons.
It had a thought about coming out, but it didn't. Into the forecourt is Fregoso as Rochester has his first possession of the second half. Perkins on him. Perkins on him tight. Gets a screen, gets a moving screen. Gary may be called for that moving screen.
They're going to get him for a 5-second call.
He didn't penetrate, you're right.
You know, and that's the second time tonight they've done that. And as a coach, you love to see that because as a player, if you put 5 seconds of good D, you get the reward and you get the turnover.
But Gary did put a moving screen up there.
Yes, he did.
I didn't. That wasn't a figment of my imagination.
Well, they
Perkins,
know.
There's a nice tough screen there by Best as the Dons bring it into the forecourt. Carruthers to Scott. Pops it away. No good. Tip up.
Nice
good
tip.
by Best.
That's what they want to see. First field goal of the night for Tyler Best, and clearly what they want to see inside is owning those boards. Great job by Tyler Best.
He only has 4 points. Fregoso gets away from Perkins, gets it off to Whitner, scoops it up.
That's
no
charged.
good, but he got clobbered. No, that's a block.
Pretty good job of Best part getting over.
And Best gets called for the foul. First foul on the Dons this half, and that will be number 2 on Tyler. Here's the replay, and
still moving in, but awful close.
He was just getting the last hop on that getting set, so it's a good call. First free throw is there. That's his first point of the night, and this is one of their best scorers.
Yeah, he's a guy. I mean, IPFW does a very. You wonder, do they scout a team like this? You bet they do. You know, we've got a list of every player, their strengths and weaknesses. They don't take any team for granted at this level.
And they're going to press here after the 2 free throws by Witchener.
Yeah, the Dons have handled this press very well.
Here is Scott, or Carruthers, back of the rim, no good. Hawkins gets jostled inside as he was kind of outmanned inside, but he was the only guy in there trying to get something done.
Just went over the back a little bit.
Fregoso, Witchener. This is Goree. Witchener in the lane, and I believe we have another foul, and we have another offensive foul.
We sure do.
It's Goree, and he's saying, okay, what can I do, sir?
He's getting him for the elbow.
He just says, please explain what I am and am not allowed to do. Best helps with the breaking of the press. He gets clobbered a little bit. Best takes it all the way in, puts it up with the left hand, no good.
Oh, nice drive from the big fella, just couldn't finish.
He didn't think he was going to get that kind of an opening. Witchener, left side, Goree up top, guarded by Hawkins.
We talk so much about DeWitt Scott on the offensive end, but if you watch him, he really has done a good job getting after his man.
Goree on the baseline, rims around, no good. Best with the rebound. beat Clark for it and got good position
Well,
to
I
do
see
it.
a better rebounding effort already.
Here's Scott on the drive, lays
Nice
it off.
look.
And Carruthers puts it up and in.
Nice unselfish play by DeWitt Scott.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were waiting for him to stay outside at the line, and they left him that opening, and he took it.
Well, he hadn't gone inside the three-point line yet.
Well, now that was another thing they have to worry about.
Now they're going to have to guard him everywhere.
You bet. Well, as though they shouldn't have done that in the first place. Outside Lee Prant to Gary. He'll put it up for 14. Front of the rim, no good. Best with another rebound.
Yeah,
The
just
Dons want to
no
run
one
it.
near that ball.
Perkins up to Carruthers, batted away from him, and that's a nice defensive
nice
play
job
there
of
by
defense.
Witchner. Fragoso, as Rochester brings it back up, they trail it by 22 at this point, 47-25. Opening minutes of the second half. Lee Prant gets a screen from Clark, tries the little pick and roll, didn't work. They have a little play that we were told about a pick and roll. I haven't seen it yet.
No, we haven't seen it yet. Well, but they're playing a zone defense, which takes all your man-to-man plays out of your book.
Here's Lee Prant on the drive. Nice move, but we're going to have a blocking foul. And who are they going to call it on? I believe it might be on Best.
You know, I
It
think
is.
Dean Rochester just feels they're not athletic enough to play man-to-man. And the best way to mask that against this team is to play zone. But the problem with that is it creates some outside opportunities.
And it also takes you out of your game.
Yeah.
And from what I heard about this play, it's something they use 5 or 6 times a game, and we haven't seen it yet. Lee Prant hits the first free throw. Looks like Clark took a little bop in the head because he's coming off wincing and holding the back of his head.
Yeah, and he's a big guy, so if he's wincing, he got hit pretty hard.
And if he's out, their size is pretty much gone. Lee Prant going for his 13th point, and he got it.
That ends a 7-0 run, and clearly the way Dane Fife wanted his team to come out to start the half.
Savely into the game now and operating at the point guard spot. Gets a little help from Megarick, who is also in the game. He is double teamed now, tries to get it ahead, gets inside Scott, leaves it off for
Nice
Hawkins
pass.
to dunk it down.
First points of the night. That's a pretty impressive way to get him.
It was ball movement extraordinaire right there. And I believe Hawkins has just hit the board for the first time. He has.
He has. First bucket of the night. That'll get the senior going.
Fragoso.
You know, and
batted away by Savely.
Eggerich's their leading scorer, Dean. He's only got 2 points.
Well, he has not figured into it that much. They've gotten the guys you would anticipate to do the scoring more involved in it tonight. They look at the pass inside of Goree.
That's
Makes
a good
nice
pass.
save. McCune has it. He puts it up no good. And Savely cracks the ball down in the backcourt. He has it taken away as
He's
Goree
in no
comes into
man's
the lane.
land.
Yeah, he was in a tough shot, and Goree made a nice play.
Yeah, you can't put that on Savely.
Savely now into the forecourt. He has it taken away from him and back.
That one you can.
Well, one of the things on Savely is sometimes he gets a little bit out of control, and that was one of those times. 49-29, Dons lead it. We are early in the second half, and we'll be right back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
Pizza!
I must eat.
Wait, what is this? Capsicum anum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat this?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
Welcome to the score sheet, Justin Hawkins, and an impressive way to do it.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. If you're going to get your first bucket in the second half, that is the way to do it.
Dons by 20, and they have the basketball. 15:45 to go in the game. Here
With
is
Scott.
Scott.
This one's going down.
Thank you, Karnak.
He's not going to miss 3 in a row on this night.
No, he's honed in on that end. Now that lights out is going to continue. Here's Fragoso, guarded by Savely, who gets hit with a nice screen there.
That's where you
by
want your
McHugh.
teammate to call it out.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That happened pretty quickly. Can't blame him on that one. Savely grabs the rebound off the floor. Here is Scott. Doesn't take it this time.
Good decision.
Eggerick. Hawkins in the low post doesn't get the ball. Don's again going with the perimeter. Zelko cuts through the lane, sets a screen, give and go to Carruthers. He'll pop from 14, bang. Carruthers with his 8th point.
He's been very patient on the night, just 6 shots. The Dons have had 8 different players score tonight.
I should make that 10 points for Carruthers. He is letting the game to come to him now, and that is really a nice thing. Safely called on the foul of Fregoso. 5th on the team, the 1st on Savely. Don's 54-29 in this one. I would think this is pretty well in hand right now.
Yeah, and now this is what we talked about, Dean. This is where you measure yourself against yourself. You want to finish going to the buzzer, whether it's the 13th man of the roster or your best player, finishing strong heading into Sunday.
McCune threw another beautiful screen on Savely. Now McCune has the ball and fades, misses a shot off to the left, and Savely's on the run.
Boy, they're doing a great job of blocking out. That ball could have hit the floor.
Here is Scott, off the glass, no good. Rebound on the floor, goes out of bounds off of Carruthers, and it'll be Rochester's ball. And Fregoso says, I'm a little gassed, Coach, I need to come out. And I'll tell you what, he never stops, so I can understand where he might be out of line.
He's done a good job of it. Can be really frustrating for a point guard when you're playing an athletic team, and he's done a nice job tonight.
Ramirez comes in for him. McCune comes out, and I was really impressed with some of the screens he set. And Clark comes back, and that's nice to see because Clark was had taken a bop of the head and had come out and was wincing, and nice to see him back in the game, which means he's okay.
He's looking for payback now.
He's on the wheel right now at the top of the key. Now it's Ramirez. He is guarded there tight by Savely.
Good job by Savely.
Spacious, back to Ramirez. Savely on him again. Counting the 5-second call. He did make some progress to the basket. Hacius. This is Gary. This is Colt Walker. He hands it off to Ramirez. 4 seconds to shoot. 3, 2, 1. They didn't get a shot off.
Really solid effort.
He stepped on the line anyway.
For a coach, that is more pleasing to see than a turnover. When you can play 35 seconds a D with no shot.
Conversely, if you're wearing the maroon, you're a little upset.
It's a little frustrating.
Because looked to me like they had a few shots to make some moves to the basket, and they didn't do it. And that may be the defense the Dons were playing. Hawkins will trigger. 13.
Yeah, they'll face that full court zone.
Savely. Hawkins back there to help him out, and he's going to save him right there, and he'll bring it over, and they do break it, and without too much trouble. Savely gets it back from Carruthers. Gets a screen from Hawkins. Carruthers into the lane. Scoop steps through.
Nice
in
pass.
for Egerich. Goes off glass and in.
Good finish. That's the finish they want to see from him.
Well, and not so much Carruthers as Egerich moving to the spot to be in the play to finish.
It's one thing to get your big man the ball there, but he's got to go up and finish strong, and Egerich did. Just his 2nd bucket on the night, though.
Well, like I say, that's not the guy they were figuring to be their leading scorer at the beginning of the year.
Really hasn't.
So, you know, I think those stats are a little skewed now. You're beginning to see Z have the role now that I think the coaches intended
for him to have.
But
But I think he's going to surprise some teams this year that won't respect that scoring ability, kind of like Valpo.
Well, as long as they have the complete game to go along with that, they'll be fine. Tonight they've had a good game, but you got an outman situation.
The defensive effort is much better tonight by the second half than it was in the first half.
Hacius.
They're low again.
Yeah, they're running into some problems. Here it's Baylor. Backs it outside. Wichner, that's no good. And the rebound is grabbed out of there by Carruthers, and they've milked just about all the 45 seconds off that one. Carruthers, right side. Middle to Savely. Here is Lepper. Fakes once. Goes to Carruthers, to Savely, right side, back to Hawkins. Savely in the corner, looking for a cutter. Carruthers has it, cuts it, has it. Nice defensive play. Well, I think he would have been able to do it, but it was a nice defensive play there by Ramirez that batted that pass behind the back away.
Wichner, by the way, Dean, is their leader.
And
well,
here comes
Z.
in a minute. Z with a steal, up to Savely. He's going to make it and then lay it up. Nice block.
Nice block.
All clean, he got all ball. Clark with the block and Ramirez with the rebound.
I was going to say, Wichner, their leading scorer, coming in at 15 points a game, only with 1 bucket on the night. He's got just 2, so they've done a real good job of shutting him down.
Ramirez, just a little leaner in the lane, no good. On the floor, Hawkins with the rebound. Clark's all over him. Had it been just a little bit more touch, I think you might have had a call, but that was the end of that. Savely, Ramirez saying, all right, come on at me, because I'm not going to come out at you. Hawkins has it batted away, Savely, and Savely throws it away. He gets up ahead to Wichner. Wichner has a defensive play nicely made, and I believe it's going to go back to the Dons.
It's a good job by Hawkins.
Not only a good play to knock the shot away, but he knocked it off Wichner. So the Dons will go to the media timeout with a 56-29 lead, and we'll be back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
Are you in there? What's up? The show's at 7. Whoa.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Nice inside play in the second half here, and that finish by Eggerick, emblematic of what we've seen as the Dons, Brian, have really made a conscious effort more to get the ball inside and make some plays.
Well, they have it. A nice pass there by Quentin Carruthers, and that's where it all starts. The Dons will have 2 in double figures. Carruthers with 10, and, of course, DeWitt Scott with 24, just 3 of those this half. And we talked about in the break, this team they're playing, Rochester, running out of gas. They're still going full court, and eventually that's going to catch up to them.
They're trying. Perkins back in the game now, as now Best has it, helping him with a break.
Nice pass.
Inside, they had it open, but unfortunately Burrows got smelled out, and Rochester made the steal. A little too late on seeing where he was.
Yeah, and they got their best player down there in Wickner.
Fragoso, guarded by Perkins, catches a screen by Whitner. Here's a bomb away by Leprant that's no good, and grabbed out of there by Lepper. Here come the Dons, moving the mass in the corner. Carruthers goes inside. Look, try to get
Burrows
that was
just
a
got
Burrows.
trapped down there.
He was. I was blocked in to see who the heck it was, and Burrows got caught inside with a nice sagging triple team on him. Dons will have it with 26 to shoot, so plenty of time to really get a nice set.
You know, they'll try and get a quick one off the break, but most teams are pretty schooled that they're not going to give up the easy one.
Perkins gives it to Carruthers, who bombs it away from the baseline. It's
That's
no
a great
good.
look coming off the out-of-bounds pass.
Clark gets the rebound, but it is stolen away by Perkins. And Perkins is going to take it back. He doesn't have the numbers, and wisely takes it outside. Let's get set and get a good shot. Lepper dragged the pivot foot, got away with it. Perkins. Burrows outside. Back to Perkins. They're really, really playing some nice tight D. You got to give these guys credit.
Yeah, they've really put everything out there.
And what do we have?
Dane Fife's
Dane
gonna get a
Fife calls
timeout.
a 30. So a 30-second timeout called by Dane Fife with the count 56-29. More to bail out his team than anything
You know,
else.
it's good coaching, Dean. You're ahead 56-29. That possession means nothing in the game, but Dane Fife's frustrated the way they're executing, and he wants to sit his guys down and show them what to do. I like the call.
Well, and the encouraging part of all this is that's the first time he's had to make any kind of a call like
Absolutely.
that. Because his team has pretty much been on top of things. Now, admittedly, let's face it, the opponent has something to do with that, although these kids have played very, very hard. But these are the times that he's got to get his guys, and they're probably doing some teaching in that huddle right now. Not so much about what happened in that thing, but the situations that are overall going to go on here in the second half, because I honestly do believe now he's seeing that, okay, let's start pointing out some situations we may face Sunday and down the road.
Well, I think so, because if this goes where IPFW doesn't finish strong, they win by 15, you want to take momentum into the second half.
All right, our schedule coming up, IPFW versus Indiana State Sunday at 4 o'clock. The Dons will then head on the road to Western Illinois for a Tuesday game at 7 p.m. and then go to we'll play IUPUI on Saturday, the 25th, at 7 o'clock.
Jaguars, that's turned into a nice little rivalry, and I think we'll continue to.
And it's going to be a home and home forever from now on with the Mid-Con. Dons with a nice, big, comfortable lead of 56-29, 10:50 to go here in the ball game. Perkins takes the inbound from Carruthers. Fragoso, who I don't believe has a lower gear than fifth.
No, I don't think he does either.
Burrows on the low post, tries to go to work, kicks back outside, 5 seconds to shoot. There's the bomb away by Perkins, that is no good, and it's Fragoso with the rebound. The man is everywhere. He gets knocked to the ground, and Burrows will draw the foul.
Get one of them, probably Burrows.
Yep. Dave Gentile is saying, was it Burrows? And he is saying, yes, it was. I'll tell you what. And Fragoso even gets a pump from Merlin Nice now.
He's getting hit from everywhere.
I'll tell you what, he may not be very big. He only goes 5'9", but I like the way he plays.
You know, he's just a sophomore, too, so this is his you know, they played 3 Division I schools last year and just won this year. We talked about this being their big game, and he's done a good job running the point.
Gray gets the inbound. He goes to work on Burrows. Moves him down, backs him in, puts it up. Gets no read, no bird up. And Perkins gets the rebound. Got no break on that shot at all. Perkins up ahead to Carruthers.
The Dons
Spins
beat him
on
down
the lane.
floor.
Cut off there. Back to Perkins. You're right, the Dons did get for it. Here is Lepper with the bomb.
Nice
and that's a
shot.
triple. Pat Lepper with his second 3 of the night. He has 6 points. He's taken 2 threes. He's hit them both. Fregoso goes into the lane, kicks back outside. Up with Whitner with the shot. That'll be a bunch of Dons in. That's the best I've seen the Dons on the defensive board all night. Lepper was the rebound. They had 3 guys surrounding that hoop on that possession. Here is Carruthers on the drive,
Oh,
reverses,
nice move.
and he draws the foul. Wichner will get it, but it was an, oh, whoa. What are they saying? Did he step on the line? Must have been. Must have been, yeah.
Yep.
Stepped on the line, and it looks like it will be a 30-second timeout taken by Rochester to talk things over a little bit right now. And in the Rochester huddle, Ryan, we're getting into those situations now. They're looking at the board. They see themselves down 30 points.
Yeah.
They're behind more than they've scored tonight.
Absolutely.
So now they are getting into that situation. You'll get in games like this that get a little bit out of hand on the scoreboard. Okay, let's win the next 5 minutes.
It's about
let's
pride.
win the next 6 minutes.
It comes down to pride. And one number I've seen dropping for them, their field goal percentage. I mean, when you're shooting 28% from the game, credit to IPFW for forcing them into bad shots. But
there's Lepper launching his second
He's
3
got a nice
and
stroke.
good of the night. He likes it out there, and if he can get open, that can be a real weapon for the Dons, not only for tonight, but down the road. And that's one of the reasons they brought him here.
Came from Florida. They can play some basketball in the Sunshine State.
They just don't talk about it very
That's
much.
right.
Fregoso picked up by Perkins. Runs it into the forecourt nonetheless. Perkins still on him tight. They lose the screen.
Well, the defensive intensity has not dropped off, even with a 30%.
I tell you, Whitner did everything he could to get the shot to go down there. He did a nice roll into the lane to try and get that to go, but it was a tough shot to try and take.
Yeah, 0 for 4, 0 for 7 overall tonight.
And again, it's one of their leading scorers. I believe 17 points a game. Is that what I saw?
15 points a game, and this, knowing him, he'll hit them both, and have just 4.
But at this point, it's not really going to be a game turner. Jakari Johnson checking in. Quentin Carruthers coming out. Hawkins up there sitting it out a little bit. Eggerick giving a high five to Carruthers.
Rochester talking like they're going man-to-man. It'll be the first time we've seen it all night.
Wichner hits the free throw and brings it back to a 28-point game now at 59-31. Best without any pressure really coming in. And now we have a little bit of a problem, and Fregoso steals it away from him. That kid's everywhere. Wichner, ready to try the bomb. Off no good. Up in the air is Perkins for the rebound, and the Dons will bring it back. That was not the kind of possession I think their coach wanted.
No, I don't think so either, even though it's your best player shooting. And you probably would like to see him be a little bit more patient.
Burrows, guard out there by Gary. And Lepper got hit in the
in
eye.
the eye, yeah.
And now it's timeout by the official. Jay until he saw something there. Lepper got caught in the eye. And
Yeah,
you're
he
see
got hit
Dan,
pretty good.
You're going to see trainer Dan Fox out on the floor real quick just to make sure that everything is okay.
You know, Dean, that's one of those inadvertent, it's not even a foul.
No,
It's just you
you don't
get hit
see
in
him
the
mad.
eye. Yeah.
And he understands that. Lepper will come over and get
Tell
the
you what,
towel
though,
from
it
Dan
doesn't
Fox.
make you feel any better.
Yeah, he isn't going to accept that explanation. So the towel will take
You're
care
gonna
of
see Terry Jenkins for the first time tonight.
For tickets to IPFW athletic events, call 260-481-6000 or go to the IPFW athletic website at www.ipfw.edu/athletics. Tickets are available for individual events. Ticket packages available for both men's and women's basketball seasons. 260-481-6000 or online www.ipfw.edu/athletics. Play back in as it will be Jakari Johnson with 3. And the Dons lead is back to 32-31. Exact double up.
Keep your eye on number 30, Terry Jenkins, the freshman out of Muncie, getting his first minutes of the night. Now, we talked about that earlier, and his man just scored.
Man, Lee Frank went right over
That's
him.
pretty tough. You come in and you guard the guy that's led him so far tonight.
Best over the timeline. Dons in pretty good, well in command here with 8:26 to go in the ball game. Jenkins over to Perkins. He'll try the bomb. Little short, no good. On the floor, Jakari Johnson picks it up. He says, I'm open for three, and he buries it.
Can't give him that much time.
Well, he had time to set his feet, check where he was, count the laces, and drop the shot.
Don's hitting well over 50% from behind the stripe, and that's clearly a good percentage.
But Ryan, they're getting wide open looks, and they're not really being pressured.
Yeah, you're not going to see that Sunday. You're not going to see that.
You
clearly.
betcha. So this is, if they're going to go in and think this is the way it's going to be the rest of the year, they are sorely mistaken.
Well, that's what the film session will be for tomorrow.
Okay, we are at the timeout with the official media timeout. It's 65 for the Dons, 33 for Rochester, 7:54 to go. We'll be back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. The women's volleyball team capped off a fabulous season, winning the independent championship at North Dakota State. The Dons defeated Texas Pan American, North Dakota State, and Utah Valley State on their way to the title. Freshman Rebecca Ream was named the tournament's most valuable player, and Sonara Martins joined her on the all-tournament team. IPFW finished a great year at 26-10. The women's basketball team opened with a 66-55 victory over Toledo last Saturday at the Gates Center. They'll play at the Carolina Classic at UNC Asheville this weekend. The men's basketball team fell in their home opener, losing to Valparaiso 75-67 Monday at the Coliseum. IPFW continues its homestand Wednesday against Rochester College. Then Indiana State visits the Coliseum Sunday for homecoming. Tip-off is 4 p.m. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Ryan, the Dons have been hitting the threes all night. Jakari Johnson with this one, and they're not getting the pressure out there, but you got to hit the shots, and they're doing it.
Yeah, you want to see over 50%, and there are a lot of teams that can stand there wide open and not hit 50%. So Dane Five's got to be pleased with that, and certainly has to be pleased with holding his opponent at 29. We talked about many games, Dean. Coach Pleasant said we have 8 minutes to compete, and that's what they want. But, you know, they're getting the same message in the IPFW huddle.
Well, and he's not sitting there screaming at his kids. He's basically saying, okay, let's learn from all this and let's play hard. Fragoso, who has been playing hard since the buzzer. Here is a long bomb by Wichner.
First field goal of the night for their leading scorer.
It took a while for him to get it, and he brings them back a little closer, but they're still down 29. Perkins up ahead. Gets it out there to Jenkins, back to Perkins, who is guarded out there by Fragoso, who knows no thing called tired. Burrows, Jakari Johnson. Jenkins gets bopped in the back in the forecourt. I believe we may be shooting now.
No, not quite.
No, we're not.
2 more.
Actually, it's they've got quite a few more to burn. Ward says they've only got 2 team fouls this half.
Yeah, Kevin Miller, another freshman we get a look at tonight, which is a good chance for some of these guys to get some real minutes. They put in a lot of time in practice.
Perkins has it bounced off his knee, and it'll be a turnover, and here comes Rochester with a chance to cut into that big deficit. Fragoso, Lee Brandt, Wichner, we should say, puts it up, puts another 3 down. He's finding his range.
Yeah, Dane Fife, even though he's made some substitutions, doesn't want to see that. They've really done a good job keeping the clamps on him.
Agrick. Jakari Johnson, and I believe they're going to call him with a foul.
Yep, sure did.
So another turnover, and one
13th
of the
on the night.
Well, the Dons haven't had too many of these, but they have quite a few of them here in the last few
But you
minutes.
do have to account. Now, there's no excuse for that one, palming the ball, but this is a Rochester team that's put pressure on them pretty much the entire night.
Ramirez gives it off to Hacius in the corner. That's Whitner. Back outside Ramirez, guarded by Perkins. Bombs away Wichner, no good. Rebound out of their Burrows, and here come the Dons. Perkins.
And they've got numbers.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Rochester got back nicely. Jakari Johnson crosses well, he crossed all the way into the Midwest American box.
That's the pass they tell you not to throw.
And they were open. Unfortunately, they're about 6 feet out of bounds.
Yeah, they found out it's not like minor league baseball where you get to take home the souvenir. Got to give that one back.
So Ramirez will try and see what he can do about making another good possession here for the Rochester Warriors. He has the ball out top. Perkins almost knocked it away from him. Gives it off to Hacius. McCune now in the game, working on the baseline. Burrows on him. McCune drives that baseline. Burrows cuts him off. Not getting enough movement. Ramirez finally gets him a little brief thing. Perkins on him to McCune. He'll fake a shot.
It's been another good, solid effort so far.
And we're down with 5 to shoot. an air ball, it's going to go out of bounds, and they'll have 2 to shoot. They won't have 2 to shoot because they threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, that's right. You know, when you're up 26, that's the kind of intensity you want to see.
Now, on the other side, you're Dane 5, you don't want your guys to let up.
No, you don't, and that's why you've got a couple. Well, now you're down to 1 freshman.
Okay, passes up ahead.
And that's him right there.
That'll be Kevin Miller. Kevin Miller back outside now working to Egrick, Perkins, Shakari Johnson. He'll look in low to Burrows. Back outside. Takes the shot. Here is a bomb away by Johnson, and that's another triple.
I tell you what, he's got a stroke too, because he definitely gets it done on the defensive end.
Well, he's bombed in 3 tonight and has 9.
Yeah, all 3 of his from behind the three-point arc.
68-39, Dons lead it. We're at 5:24 to go in the game. Ramirez wheeling at the top of the key, batted away by Egrick, but Ramirez gets it back. Almost had his line and foot on the back line. But the Rowdy Warriors will continue to control. McCune spins. Nice block by Burrows, and it'll go out of bounds, but Burrows made a nice play there. McCune tried to shake him with the hip, and he blocked the shot and knocked it out of bounds. So we have a couple of more substitutions as Clark checks back in for Rochester. Saley comes in, and we may have seen the last of Perkins. He's played
I
good
think
tonight.
he's probably done. You know, I was just looking down the roster. We've seen every Rochester player. There's no one else to
Well, and I believe Ademi was the last one we were going to see for the Dons, and he's in there now.
Yeah, they've now cleared their bench.
5 minutes to go. 5 minutes and change. The inbounds comes to Leeprant. Ramirez. Hacius. Got away. Leeprant. Long bomb. Trying to beat the shot clock. And he did, but he missed the shot, but they did get the rebound and a reset. Hacius into the lane. Tries to go over the big guys. And we have an offensive foul on Hacius. And I'll tell you what, if he's going to complain, I can't blame him.
Yeah, he's good.
He got crunched in there. But we need to tell Mr. Hacius, offensive fouls have been called quite a bit in this game. This should not be a bulletin to him. If you're going to go in there, that's what you're going to face.
A little surprised that they're still staying in their full court pressure, but
Saley's got to get himself out of trouble.
We've talked about it all night, though. This is their big game.
Saley getting it back from Z. Under 5 minutes to go now. Don's comfortably ahead by 29. Ademi tries to back his man down. Gets it up, and the ball is batted away by Clark, but prior to that, Ademi was fouled.
Well, Dean, just think about this. If they're coming off a 65-point win, and IPFW now 30 points ahead of them, just imagine if they matched up with Ohio State Marion. Dons could win by 90.
I would not schedule the game.
I don't think so.
You would learn nothing, and you would prove nothing, and it would be ugly.
Ademi a chance to get on the board.
Armand Ademi. Up and good. And let's see, the only guy we haven't gotten Jenkins on the board yet. We haven't got Miller on the board yet. We haven't got Saley on the board yet. And Kyle's been on the floor quite a bit.
Yeah, and he's only taken 2 shots, and that's what Dane Fife wants out of him. He got some scoring chances against Valpo and came through. And you know, tonight as the point guard, your job's to distribute. You want to get the looks, but if they're not there, you move on.
Armand Ademi. Kosovo native. Up, no good with that rebound, but Shakari Johnson grabs it, and we'll have a reset. Saley knocks it over to Miller. Ademi. Johnson gets a screen from Ademi. Pops from 10, off the glass and in. Shakari Johnson goes to double figures with 11 points, and they want a timeout to the Rochester Warriors.
Yeah, he's not even going to wait for the TV timeout.
Yeah. He's saying, where's our competition? He asked him to compete in those last 8 minutes, and he didn't get it. Do we have a full here?
Now it's 4:17.
I believe we had a full, so we'll be right back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
You know, she continues to spill product at a rate of 3 per hour. Unit cost, say 60 cents. Factor in breakage, downtime, lost sales. You're looking at $2,400 a month. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, 2 great names.
they chose not to wait for us. They got right back at it. With 3:47 to go now, and believe it or not, we just had another timeout.
Yes,
call.
we did.
And I believe it might have been the media. It was. So I'll tell you what, we're just going to do right what we were supposed to do and be back with more Mastodon basketball action right after this.
Mom, Dad, you know we love kids, and I've made a decision that will totally change my life. Cameron's too. It's a huge responsibility, leading someone into, who knows, communication or science or math. That's what life's all about, right? Learning so you can pass on knowledge to younger minds. Dad, Mom, I want to be a teacher.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Well, you knew that they must have really wanted to talk things over to Rochester because they had to know that media timeout was just seconds away. They must have really wanted to have that timeout to talk things over.
Well, let's not forget, they're not used to many media timeouts. You know, that
That's
clearly
true.
is not a game they're used to. Dean, we talked at halftime. Tony Jasic said rebounding, they only out-rebounded by 1 in the first half, 17-7 this half. So I think that's one stat Dane Fife, even more than the score, is going to focus on with his guys.
You have seen a heck of a lot more white presence underneath the boards on both ends. Egrich misses the free throw. Got the first
I think
one.
they're going to get Demi down low.
Well, this is the time when you find out just what you have to do. And Armin Demi is finding out that there is a way to go after a rebound, and there isn't.
In a way not to.
All right, here is Fragoso. Picked up by Savely. Well, there's two little dynamos right there in small bodies, but they're good
That's
players. On a drive, nice play in there, and Billy Prant has the nice drive in the lane. And it was just Rochester would have liked to have seen about 3 or 4 more of those a half, and it just hasn't happened. Kevon Miller.
Don's just
Savely.
3 minutes away from their first one of the season.
Johnson gets clubbed in the corner, and Hayes just really doesn't have much to say about that one.
No, he doesn't.
That was a little bit of aggravated assault and battery down in that corner. But give the kid credit, you know, fighting all the way.
Done a good job.
Team's down significantly.
You know, it's funny.
And they had fouls to burn.
In the last time out, I actually saw, you know, Coach Fife smiling and laughing. You don't get that very much in games in college. So.
You sure weren't seeing it in late stages Monday night. Kevon Miller for 3. No good, back of the rim. And the ball is knocked out of bounds, and it'll belong to the Dons. There you had, and there's Garth Pleasant just saying, oh, we'll take care of that in practice next week. You know, same team thing, same team thing.
Next week, they might bust back to Michigan to do it tonight. That's the Bob Knight style.
Okay, here we go. Savely's going to try and get on the board. No. And then he bots the ball loose, and it belongs to Rochester. 3 minutes even to go in this one. 72-41. Dons in control. Dons are going to press a little. Fragoso does a nice job of breaking that press, but then is double teamed as he comes into the forecourt and finally gets it free and yo-yos out top. They try to feed inside to Clark, and Ademi's over his back.
Yeah, just found himself out of position. I think on the full court, that's just Dane Fife's way of making sure his guys understand these minutes still matter. But I don't think you ever have to tell Kyle Savely they don't matter.
No.
He always goes 100%.
And I like what Z did. He went right over there and told Demi, okay, this is what you need to do on that one. The play was done. Don't worry about that. Clark to the line. Only 3 points for him, and he missed that one bad.
Yeah, that was a brick. You know, Demi, we talked about him. He's only a sophomore, you know, from Kosovo, and he's clearly a guy they're still molding into the player they want him to be.
Well, and he's a big guy, and you can't just find big guys. Kevon Miller to Savely. Back outside.
Good ball
This
movement.
is Ademi on the baseline. Back of the rim, no good. Z with the rebound. He just found that he has a good nose for the basket, and he has been finding spaces at the end of last year and all of this year, he's just in the right place at the right time.
He's done a good job. Yeah, that was the international connection. 6th rebound on the night for the Garrick.
Lightbrand off to Gary. And we have a double dribble called on O'Day Baylor, and the Dons will get the basketball back with 2:12 to go. And we will see Terry Jenkins check in and Sha'Carri Johnson come out.
Before another timeout by Garth Pleasant.
Well, these are teaching timeouts.
They are.
These are teaching timeouts, and it will be a 60-second timeout, so we'll be back with more Mastodon basketball right after this.
Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. The women's volleyball team capped off a fabulous season, winning the independent championship at North Dakota State. The Dons defeated Texas Pan American, North Dakota State, and Utah Valley State on their way to the title. Freshman Rebecca Ream was named the tournament's most valuable player, and Sonara Martins joined her on the all-tournament team. IPFW finished a great year at 26-10. The women's basketball team opened with a 66-55 victory over Toledo last Saturday at the Gates Center. They'll play at the Carolina Classic at UNC Asheville this weekend. The men's basketball team fell in their home opener, losing to Valparaiso 75-67 Monday at the Coliseum. IPFW continues its homestand Wednesday against Rochester College. Then Indiana State visits the Coliseum Sunday for homecoming. Tip-off is 4 p.m. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
74-41, Dons lead it with 2:12 to go. As Garth Pleasant again doing a little teaching in a timeout. There's the rebounding edge, and Ryan, that's been mostly in the second half. 38-26, Dons lead it, but it was a lot closer than that at halftime.
It was 18-17, so you're talking about a rebounding advantage of 11 in this half alone.
Ademi from the baseline, got it.
He's got a nice touch for a big man.
So there's another guy who has found the board. Actually, he had done it already earlier with a free throw. So he has 3.
Yeah, Dane Five's done a real good job of getting everyone involved in this, and yet still keeping a 35-point lead.
Goree up top. Wheeling on tape, feeds inside on a low post to Leeprant, who will turn and hit.
I just like what I see out of Jerron Burroughs. Plays with a lot of passion.
76-43, Dons by 33 as we're a minute and a half from the end of this one. Savely didn't need a little help. Gets Burroughs, gets it off in the baseline, gets it back to Savely. And looking inside for Burroughs. As Jenkins working in here as Ademi again. This one's no short, no good. Rebound on the floor, still scramble for it.
Good hustle by
Jenkins trying to get it, and Miller inside. Ademi wanted to jam it, and he got crunched. Yep. What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
I mean, you got a situation there. Nothing was wrong with that. What I'm saying is a great effort. I mean, if the kid wants to have an exclamation, they would have brought the house down.
Absolutely.
So Armin Ademi will go to the line. He has 3 points. He is 1 of 2 from the line. Minute 9 left. Don's up by 33, and he misses the front end. And here's that look inside. He made the try and just didn't quite get it done.
Don's had a pretty good night at the line. 8 for 12, 67%. I think IPFW would like to see it a little better than that, but
second one's good. And Ademi with 4 tonight ups that lead to 77-43.
77, the most the Dons have put on a team this year, but I think that's clearly not what they're going to focus on when they look at the film tomorrow.
They've got a lot of things to work at, but there are some things to smile at too, especially in the second half, and especially with the inside play. Long bomb on its way is no good. Rebound on the floor, grabbed out of there by Jenkins. Up ahead to Savely. He looked for the open shot, didn't have it. He had Ademi. Ademi wants the ball.
You'd like to see Jenkins or Kevin Miller get a shot here.
Well, Miller's got it right now. He gets away, gets it off to Savely,
nice
gets
pass.
back to Miller, and Miller's open. He didn't have a good shot, good fit for the shot. Savely, 16 to shoot. Miller, bounce pass to Burroughs, back to Miller. Inside 30 seconds to go now. Savely's going to try a long bomb, and rims out, no good. Wall's on the floor. 22 seconds, 21 seconds. Into the forecourt, Tom Webb. Might be the last possession of the game.
Probably will be.
He'll yo-yo it. And let's see if maybe they're just working on their final play game now here. There's a cut through the lane, nice shot.
That's pretty good.
Finish is Whitner. And we have a whistle and a foul called on, looks like Kevon Miller. Yep.
So it would have been a fitting end if we got an offensive foul, but Been a nice little play here from Rochester.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the Dons do with this last 7.7.
And a good job by Kevin Miller. Again, we talked about just a half-second late.
Well, folks starting to head for the exits right now, and they'll go home smiling because of a nice effort from the Dons, and they'll come home a very convincing winner tonight. First
Yeah, they
free
did
throw
what
is
they
missed.
had to do. We told them this is not a team that they wanted to leave in the game.
Wishner misses the first one. He'll have one more. 7.7 left. That one's good. 77-44. And Savely's just going to bring it up and not really push the issue a little bit.
Yeah, no reason to shoot here.
Yep, and I think he's under the I almost had it stolen away, but hey, issue is over. 77-44, Dons over Rochester. The two coaches shake hands. And I'll tell you what, it was kind of almost pleasant being here next to Garth Pleasant and
really
learning
was.
a little bit about coaching and how to deal with a game when it's out of hand and how you make it work for you.
Yeah, he's been coaching for more years than Coach Five's been alive, and that's all he's been at this.
And quite a bit more
Yeah,
than
quite a
Coach
bit more.
Fife has been alive. But the final count is 74-44. The Dons win it. Back with more Mastodon basketball right after this.
Do you have everything you need? Paper, pencils?
We only ask that you do your best. And make you a snack.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. The women's volleyball team capped off a fabulous season, winning the independent championship at North Dakota State. The Dons defeated Texas Pan American, North Dakota State, and Utah Valley State on their way to the title. Freshman Rebecca Ream was named the tournament's most valuable player, and Sonara Martins joined her on the all-tournament team. IPFW finished a great year at 26-10. The women's basketball team opened with a 66-55 victory over Toledo last Saturday at the Gates Center. They'll play at the Carolina Classic at UNC Asheville this weekend. The men's basketball team fell in their home opener, losing to Valparaiso 75-67 Monday at the Coliseum. IPFW continues its homestand Wednesday against Rochester College. Then Indiana State visits the Coliseum Sunday for homecoming. Tip-off is 4 p.m. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
77 for the Dons, 44 for the Rochester Warriors, and issue never in doubt, Ryan, after about 10 minutes of the game.
No, it really never was, and I don't think Dane Fife would say he ever felt threatened. But some key things is they finished with the rebounding edge, which he wanted to do. And, you know, you can find some negatives, but the bottom line is they put a team away by 33. But he's telling them right now, guys, good effort, but this is not nearly the caliber we're going to see the next few weeks.
Well, and also you deal with the Indiana State team, coming off a nice win over Western Michigan. They'll be coming off whatever they do against Indiana, and Indiana will be very happy when they're going to go into that one. But more importantly, when Indiana State comes in here, they're going to remember what happened last January.
Absolutely.
When the Dons went in there and to this point won the biggest game this program has ever had. And having been there that night and remembering how just thrilling it was for the IPFW program, it was that extreme the other way for Indiana State. So it'll be an interesting way to see how the Sycamores, are they better? There was some criticism, unfounded in some ways, that Indiana State was not at full strength, that one of their best players was not playing in that game. Okay, well, he'll be playing now.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you're
so
going to
that won't
sneak
be
up
an
on
issue.
some teams. It's an early Division I school, but I got news for you. You beat them one year. They will not sneak up on them this year. And clearly IPFW knows they're facing a much tougher opponent, and they have a chance to even their record at 2-2.
And Jeff Tungate, assistant coach, is stepping on in here right now, and we will get the mic going here. And this time, I will remember to turn it on, because that's a good thing for me to do. So Jeff, set on in here, and let us ask you the plus and minus things, and to start with the pluses first, because there were quite a few.
Well, I think tonight was a game we just talked about in the locker room. We played with a lot of confidence tonight. You know, it's something we came out and had the mentality that we expected to win, and that's something we have to have night in and night out no matter who we play. I thought we shot the ball. It was great to see DeWitt Scott get back on track tonight. He's really been struggling offensively, and tonight he got back on track from the three-point line and did a great job. You know, I thought our bench guys got some quality minutes, and another real positive defensively. We really gave some great pressure on the basketball tonight, and we finally defended the way we're capable of defending, and you know, it's a good win. And our guys needed it. It was a great confidence boost for us tonight, and hopefully that defensive effort will carry over into Sunday night against Indiana State.
Tony told me at halftime, 18-17, you guys only have one rebounding-wise, and if you can find negative, second half was a real different story.
Yeah, you know, I thought our guys second half really came out and played. Coach challenged them at halftime to come out and get the job done in the second half, and those guys really responded. You know, I didn't see the final stats of rebounding in the second half. We started to go to the glass. Seemed like we blocked out. We're a little bit more physical in the second half than we were in the first half.
Well, if I'm looking at it, it was about an advantage of about 15.
Yeah.
And it was on both ends. It wasn't just on the defensive end.
Well, you know, our guys have to learn, and you see tonight, I mean, at times we get so careless with the basketball, we get soft with the ball, we're not strong when we catch, and those are things that are going to really hurt us, and we got to play every possession like it's the last possession of the game, and I think we still haven't gotten there tonight, even after tonight, but you know, that's something we just got to keep growing as a team and learning how to win and understanding that we're a good enough team to win basketball games.
Who stood out for you tonight? DeWitt Scott falls just short of a career high, obviously 7 for 8 in the first half from behind the three. You know when this guy gets going, he can really be quite a dynamo.
Yeah, I thought DeWitt really played well. I thought, you know, in spurts, Jakari Johnson did a great job for us off the bench. I thought, you know, AD came in, Armando Demi came in at the end and did a real good job for us too. And you know, but I think the biggest thing tonight was DeWitt Scott. I mean, we've been waiting to see that all year and get that shot going again. And so, I mean, having him be one of the top players tonight, I think was huge for us, and just from a confidence of our team and what he needs going into Sunday night.
Okay, I'll be the gloomy Gus in this thing. What do you look at in tape tomorrow that you got to fix?
Well, you know, we still have to do a better job rebounding, obviously. I mean, we can't go a first half and have a rebounding margin like that. I mean, that's something we have to do for 40 minutes and do a better job of. We got to take care of the careless turnovers. There's too many times tonight that we would just throw the ball to where a guy should be, not to where a guy was standing, and that's something we've got to get better at. I think we've got to get better down low in the post. I think our post catches are way too far outside off the lane.
Do you even wait till tomorrow in terms of, you got a game in 48 hours. How quickly do you guys break down Indiana State, or have you already begun that process?
Well, we've already begun that process, so that's something we've already started. And, you know, we're going to go ahead and take tomorrow off, and then Friday and Saturday we'll really start concentrating on Indiana State and getting ready for Sunday. But as coaching staff, we've already started looking at Indiana State.
I shouldn't rush it. Actually, you got more than 48 hours. But
yeah, but
they have 48 hours.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll be here before you know it.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot of things we've got to clean up, and you know, we just got to keep working and keep getting better and hopefully improve every game we play.
All right, Indiana State, and we'll wrap it up with this one. It's a game that this program is going to look back fondly on last year, but last year is last year, and they're going to come in here looking prepared.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you saw that with Notre Dame. Notre Dame definitely came out ready to redeem themselves from last year and improve a point to us. You know, Indiana State's going to be doing the same thing. Our guys have to bring their A game, obviously, on Sunday, because Indiana State's going to be prepared. They're going to be ready, and they're going to be hungry after what happened last year. So we're going to have to play, have a great effort and play really well for us to win the basketball game on Sunday.
I like post-game interviews that are like this. They're happy.
Well, let's hope we have quite a few more of these.
That's right. Okay. Jeff, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Go enjoy that locker room, because I know it's a happy one right now. Jeff Tungate, assistant basketball coach at IPFW. We'll be back with more basketball right after this.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Pizza!
I must eat.
Wait, what is this? Capsicum anum? Agaricus bisporus? Allium cepa?
Can we eat it?
Peppers, mushrooms, and onions. Eat your pizza, man.
Funny.
Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, Two great names.
I'm Kent Horman with an IPFW Mastodon Minute. The women's volleyball team capped off a fabulous season, winning the independent championship at North Dakota State. The Dons defeated Texas Pan American, North Dakota State, and Utah Valley State on their way to the title. Freshman Rebecca Ream was named the tournament's most valuable player, and Sonara Martins joined her on the all-tournament team. IPFW finished a great year at 26-10. The women's basketball team opened with a 66-55 victory over Toledo last Saturday at the Gates Center. They'll play at the Carolina Classic at UNC Asheville this weekend. The men's basketball team fell in their home opener, losing to Valparaiso 75-67 Monday at the Coliseum. IPFW continues its homestand Wednesday against Rochester College. Then Indiana State visits the Coliseum Sunday for homecoming. Tip-off is 4 p.m. With this IPFW Mastodon Minute, I'm Kent Horman.
Back to the Coliseum for one final time, and some final thoughts other than we won handily.
Yeah, I think you almost have to throw the numbers out, and they're gonna. They're impressed with the DeWitt Scots. They're impressed with the things they build on, but clearly this was a team that we talked about before is not Division I caliber, but a good win. Everybody stays healthy, and a great night from DeWitt Scott, and Quentin Carruthers, one of the guys that found double digits as well.
And again, this is showing some of the stuff that happened inside, and of course, Mr. Outside, especially in the first half, DeWitt Scott. But the guys were making shots and they were making plays, and these are the best moments. There were some moments that weren't so shining, but fortunately, there were enough of these to indicate not only this was the better team on the floor tonight, but there are some things that are being done very, very well to get the ball in and get good shots and make high percentage shots. And the team for the night shot 50% from the field and from three-point land and 48.2 overall from the field. And a lot of guys got involved, and we only see two guys that didn't get on the board, and that's not a bad night.
That's not a bad night at all. And interestingly enough, Sunday, they're going to face, it'll be a home game, but you're going to face an Indiana State crowd that has some people here, and it's going to be an interesting home game for them.
Well, and again, I'm sure this is being drilled into them. Hey, how did you think they felt when we walked out of their place with a win a year ago, and not quite a year ago? They would like to be able to do the same thing here. Here are your final stats. Don's 27-56 from the field at 48.2%, like we said. Warriors not quite so good, but that had a lot to do with the fact that they were being denied any kind of a decent shot.
Yeah, and I think, Dean, the three-point jumps out at you. I mean, even though we talked about the Warriors did not play the kind of defense they'll see all year, 14 out of 28 from behind the arc. They got to be pleased with that. 40-27, you win by 12 in the second half rebounds. Clearly, turnovers are going to have to cut those down, even though the Warriors did play full court virtually the entire game.
I'll tell you, want to know a number I like the best? 17 assists. That's some playmaking.
Yeah, it really
that
is.
shows something good. Scott, the leader with 24 points.
Too short of his career high.
Yeah.
Ended up with 24 in the night.
That says 21, but he did. Those were all in the first half. He did get a 3 in the second half to make it 24. I believe these might be the first half numbers.
Quentin Carruthers actually got into double figures as well.
So let's lose that, and we'll tell you Carruthers had 10. Johnson had 11. I think all of that was in the second half with 3 threes that he hit. And go down the line a little bit. Eggerick with 7. Perkins with 5. 4 for Ademi. 4 for Burrows. 4 for Best. 2 for Hawkins. And 6 for Lepper. And like I said, a lot of guys scored, and only maybe 2 or 3 did not. The leading scorer from them was Lee Prant. And I want to get his final numbers here because those were the 20 points.
Yeah, he finished with 20. And he said
he was slow to get
started. The key phrase I heard from the coach was, we're taking tomorrow off, which means they're pleased enough to give him a day off. Because I got to tell you, if it wasn't pretty tonight, they would be in the gym tomorrow.
You don't want that.
No, you don't.
And especially with what they've got, because they've got to play Sunday.
Yep.
They got to play Tuesday, and I think they have another one next Saturday.
And
so
hit the road.
You want to get that done. But, hey, 77-44, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
And the 77 was IPFW. He is Ryan Elijah. I am Dean Pantazzi. The Dons win it by 33. This has been Mastodons Basketball. Good night.
Thanks, Bernie. Good job.